Hi, a couple of days ago in the mail, I got this movie I ordered. It's called Her Best Move. It's a very cute movie. It's very much a chick flick. It's sort of a Disney version of Bend It Like Beckham, but it's still a very cute movie. And Lalaine, whose character plays the best friend of Leah Pipe's character, I have to say, like always, was absolutely adorable and beautiful. And I just want to say that, Lalaine, she has such a cute smile, she has such a cute personality, and she's just such a magnetic person. And, it kind of puzzled me because this movie was released in 2008, just recently. So I presume that movie was being made around 2007 or early part of 2008. I'm not sure how long it takes for them to do these kinds of things. But it couldn't have been that long ago. So it must have been soon after making of this movie, in which Lalaine, according to the rumors that I heard, got onto methamphetamines in order to lose weight. Now, if that's true, it's absolutely ludicrous. I mean, Lalaine had a very nice figure in this movie. I mean, she wasn't even plump, not alone overweight. For her to think of herself as being have such a low opinion of herself that she didn't think she was just absolutely gorgeous, because in my opinion, she's about the most gorgeous gal I've ever seen in my life. For her to not realize that, to think of herself as being overweight is just absurd. But I do know that, women these days are very finicky about themselves. Hollywood especially is kind of sensationalistic about it. Even if a woman has a womanly figure, she's considered to be overweight. I mean, you have to be some skinny twiggy, or they just don't accept you. And I just think that's ridiculous. And I just want to say, I know people get on methamphetamine for many different reasons, because I've had relatives and acquaintances that have been into that drug. My sister, she used some crystal meth as well as some other drugs. I had a neighbor who she was cooking crystal meth in the house, and she burned a hole in the bathtub and everything. My mom's ex-husband, her first husband, he was a Hell's Angel, and they're heavy into methamphetamines. And I've known different people around town and everything who have been involved in that drug, and other forms of methamphetamines and amphetamines. In fact, my father, I'm also familiar with these so-called milder forms of amphetamines, which they are milder, but in the long run they will still mess up your health. For example, my father, he used bennies, and he used to use bennies. And the thing is that so many people, they think bennies are just concentrated caffeine. They don't realize it is a form of amphetamines, and it is dangerous. And my dad, he came to the realization that what he was taking was bad, because he was lifting weights one day, and as he was lifting the weights, when he came about halfway up, his arms just froze, and he couldn't lower them and he couldn't raise them. They just froze. And at around the same time, a friend of his who was using bennies ended up getting rushed to the hospital in an ambulance because he took too many. And it made my dad come to the realization that this is a bad drug. And as well as my dad's ex-wife, she had a miscarriage, because she was using bennies because her brother had got on them. So bennies in themselves are bad. And I know older people who have taken bennies for years in order to get more work done and everything. It just it screwed up their health in their old age, or have all kinds of problems related to it. And methamphetamines and crystal meth, people will take it for similar kind of reasons. Get more work done, lose weight, of course. I mean, all kinds of different reasons. And it's like they get into it without realizing just how bad and dangerous it is. And you hear about just nasty results from it. And I have to say that it's a lot of good people who make the dumb mistake of getting into it. It's very common. It's not just people in Hollywood and everything like that. I mean, crystal meth in particular, it's becoming a very common drug everywhere. I mean, I live in a small desert town, and people are all over the place are using this drug. It's a lot of crystal meth abuse in this town, and in other small towns I hear about it. and you're getting people who are well-educated and ambitious. They're often the ones who get into the drug because they think it will help them get more work done and stuff. And it's foolish. They don't know what they're getting into. But I just want to say that you have to forgive these people. But the thing is with Lalaine, you can tell she has a good heart. You can tell she's a good person and everything. But this drug will twist that all. It'll make you do the dumbest, most impulsive things. And I'm glad that Lalaine is in rehab. I've heard that she's doing real good. But I want to emphasize, we really need to continue praying for her, because this is a drug that's easy to relapse on. And she's a beautiful person and everything, but this stuff will kind of take control of you and everything. If you just don't keep up with prayer and everything. And I know a lot of people, they're cynical about the value of prayer, but believe me, prayer does have power. And even more people are cynical about the idea of praying for people in Hollywood. It's kind of ridiculous how people will make people in Hollywood into idols, and yet at the same time they look down on them, and they have all these tabloid things about them and stuff, and put them down every which way they can. The thing is, that has absolutely nothing to do with love. You have to love people in Hollywood in the same way as you love any other human being. The Bible says love other people, and I'm talking about true love, not making them into idols. But you have to pray for people in Hollywood, people you hear about on the news, or just anybody you know, or somebody down the street. You have to pray for them in love. It's something extremely important. And I have to say that, if you're a fan of Lalaine, instead of being obsessed with, trying to find movie memorabilia or trying to get her autograph or contact her or something like that, instead just pray for her in love with all your heart. And try to have true love for her instead of just making her into an idol. My old pastor from when I was a kid, his name was Al Stilly, really nice guy, real down to earth. He he grew up in Oklahoma. He was part Cherokee. He only had like a 6th grade education, so he wasn't like he wasn't all that well educated and stuff. He didn't have a lot of knowledge on. He had a lot of technical knowledge on. He was a good craftsman. He worked on body work and whatnot. But the thing is he had a lot of horse sense. He may not have been that well educated, but he had a whole lot of horse sense and wisdom. And one of the wisest things I heard him say is he said that one of the worst things you do to a person is make them into an idol, because that's a sure way to make sure they'll fall. And it's true. There's many reasons for that. The unrealistic expectations and whatnot, but also because of the simple fact that if you make somebody into an idol, you're prone to think that you don't need to pray for them, as though this person is like perfect and you don't need to pray for them. But the thing is even a good, wonderful person can make a mistake and fall and do some dumb things. Look at Lalaine. She's a good, wonderful person, intelligent and talented, yet she made a foolish mistake. But you look at the Bible. There was many the greatest men and women in the Bible. They would often emphasize the value of people to pray for them. The Apostle Paul. There are some kings in the Old Testament. They would tell people. They would really urge other people to put a lot of prayer into them. They would beg people to pray for them regularly, because the thing is it doesn't matter how great you are. The thing is, you're still a human being, and human beings can make dumb mistakes. And if you make somebody into an idol, you have a tendency to forget that, and you stop praying for them. And I just want to strongly emphasize the value to keep on praying for Lalaine. It's a rough thing she's gone through, and I also want to strongly emphasize this: pray for Lalaine's family, because I know how this kind of drugs, they can really screw up a family and everything, cause a lot of stress. Family members, especially parents, have a tendency to blame themselves for everything. It's possible that, Lalaine's parents, for example, might blame themselves that Lalaine got into Hollywood and everything like that. But I want to strongly emphasize, like I said earlier, crystal meth is a drug that everybody is getting into these days. I live in a small desert town, and a lot of people are into it. It doesn't matter if you're in Hollywood or whatever these days. This is a drug is, an epidemic. And I just want to strongly emphasize, pray for Lalaine and pray for her family. Pray that, this experience will strengthen their faith and they'll be able to get through it. And, pray for Lalaine's health and just pray that they'll all have love and faith and they'll have a stronger and happier family from this. And I thank you for listening, and just remember, keep on praying with passion and pray with love, and God bless. Bye-bye.